Hi, good morning, good morning, good morning. Rise and shine, Hope Hub, rise and shine. I've been standing by the door by probably, I think, the last 15 minutes. Standing over by the door, waiting for the rain to stop. Then I put on a raincoat and I was gearing up to go out. And I'm just like, I can't do it. I can't do it. So I'm just waiting for the rain to let up. My husband is actually on the treadmill right now. And he's telling me, I can finish 1 mile and you can get on the treadmill. And I'm like, I hate the treadmill. I don't want to get on the treadmill. It's so boring on the treadmill. I would rather go outside and run and look at the, whatever is going on outside, see my neighbors. But it's raining cats and dogs. So I was thinking it's going to stop. But it seems to only be getting worse. So I don't know if y'all can see, but that's what it looks like right now. So anyway, I thought I'll just come here really quickly and give you my hope for the day and send you out on an amazing Mindset Monday, wherever you may be. Yesterday, I celebrated my son's birthday, Jonathan. If you guys saw the post, he's the reason that I started this Facebook page. And when I was really down because of his diagnosis, at the time it was developmental delays, he wasn't speaking. That was about, it's almost 5 years, almost 5 years now. During that time, I was so depressed, I was so down, I was suicidal, just because of the negative reports that were being written over his life. And, you feel like the dream that you had for your child, all the things that you thought were possible were just being destroyed or spoken against. And so many people were coming through my house, psychologists, and they were telling me all these things about autism. And, specifically, one of the ladies was telling me that, don't worry, they have institutions and residential homes for children who later on become adults and are, have autism. And I was like, for a mom, you're looking at the person who is telling you this and you're like, you're saying this about my 3-year-old. Like already you're speaking against his future. And it was a devastating time. And for that reason, that's a reason really, later on I started the Hope Hub for that reason. And in terms of people who are going through something like that, something in their lives that's devastating, a challenge, adversity, a diagnosis, depression, hopelessness, anything, just to give them hope on a daily basis. Because during that time, when I was so down, God reached into my situation. God reached me in my bedroom. And I know I've said this story so many times. I had so many nights of sleeplessness where I wasn't sleeping. I was depressed. I was down. I was starting to think about taking my own life, taking the life of my child. Can you imagine? That's how down I was. And that's how, words have so much power over us. If you're surrounding yourself with negativity and people who are speaking negative over your dreams, because my child was my gift from God, and I had so many dreams encapsulated in terms of what I thought his future would be. If you're allowing negativity and people to speak against you and to speak words, there's life and death life and death is in the power of the tongue. And so I was allowing those things to penetrate and get into my soul, and I was getting more and more depressed every day. And so, like I was saying, one day I woke up and I turned on the TV. It was around 6 a.m. and there was a preacher on the TV screen. And he was a TBN preacher, and he was preaching about the power of faith-filled words. And when I listened to his sermon, which it wasn't even a sermon, he was just doing like a sort of Bible study, I realized that the reason I was so depressed was because I was leaning on the reports from man, everything that I was reading on Google about how this condition was incurable. That's what I was leaning on. and leaning on my own understanding, what I could research, instead of leaning on the power of God, and understanding that God, throughout the ages and throughout my life, I had learned about a huge, huge God that had freed the Israelites from Egypt, that had performed all these miracles, that had created the universe. And if truly I believed in this God, and my parents and my grandparents believed in this God, then why was I so worried? Why was I so beside myself, right? And so during that time, I started to the psychologists and the therapists and the Google and the researchers. I chose instead to look at God. And since then, it's been a process. It's been a faith walk. And that's what I ask you guys as well to do, is that when I come here to remind you not of the Hope Hub being your place for hope, but behind the Hope Hub, behind faith, is the true light, which is the light of God, and the need for you to focus on that light and to be reminded that God is available to you at all times, and God is with you at all times, in the valley, in your circumstances. He is there with you, that essentially you can do all things through Him. And I know sometimes it's hard, it's a process, it's a journey, but you just take one step of faith every single day and you keep it moving. And I have never ever regretted being connected back to my Creator, being connected to God. He's the same person who's taken me throughout my life. He's the same person who's led me in times of darkness. He's the same person that took care of me and provided for me when I have a long story, but He's the one who's provided for me throughout my life, not only as a child, but as an adult, in a very miraculous way. He has had His finger on my life. And I know that in the same way He has a finger on my life, He also has a finger on your life. That each of us is fearfully and wonderfully made. That each of us is a unique creation. That each of us is a child of God. That each of us He knows intimately, and He knows you as an individual. And that He cares for you, regardless of what you're looking at in terms of your circumstance today. God is able. God is able. Rest in Him. Put your troubles, put your put your needs in His hands, and He will make a way. I'm a witness. Let me put it that way. I'm a witness. And as I said, it's been a journey. And I remember there was a time when I started feeling again the anxious and the panic, especially like even now. My son is now 9 years old. Can I say he's fully recovered from autism? Absolutely not. It's a journey. It's laughter, it's joy, it's pain, it's tears. And every single day I keep looking up to God and saying, you're the way maker, you're the promise keeper. You promised me victory over this situation. You promised me peace. You promised me joy. Like I remember signs, driving around, and I would see signs, cars signs that would say victory, that would say love, that would say Jesus, that would say peace. And I would be reminded that God is sending me signs in the universe, reminding me that He's got it. He's got it. And so I remember 3 years ago, because I was still trying to do things in my own strength, even knowing that God was there. I was still endeavoring and every day thinking about, well, how far have we come? How far do we still have to go? And God reminded me, He said, this is my child. Just the same way I took care of you, he is my child, and I'll take care of him. So rest in that understanding that for me, as a mom, I'm his guide, I'm his facilitator, I'm his, I guess, yeah, his guide on the side. But God is still his father. Just the same way that I trust in God to take care of me, my son should also trust in God to take care of him. And so I can do all things that I can continue to do everything that I want to do or help or whatever. But at the end of the day, when I've done everything that I can in my power, I leave the rest up to God, because he's a miracle worker, he's a way maker, he's a promise keeper, he's all of that. So anyway, I don't know whose message that was, but yesterday I was celebrating his 9th birthday. Without him, it's so funny, all things work together for the good of those who love the Lord, or for the good. You know that my life verse is Jeremiah 29:11. For I know the plans I have for you, says the Lord, plans not for good and not for evil, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you a future and a hope. I've always had that verse in everything, my wedding cards, my anything that's significant, graduation, anything that's significant in my life. I've always had that life verse from when I was a child. And so I continue to believe in that verse, that all things, even that situation with my son, is the reason why I'm here on the Hope Hub. And so even though I look at it as not necessarily the most positive thing to happen to anyone or to happen in my life, somehow God has been able to use that to benefit you, to benefit other people who are part of this space and part of this platform, and probably many more for years to come. Because when you look at me here on the Hope Hub, believe me, this is not faith. This is not something that I'm doing in my own power or in my own it's in my own desire. It's God that helps me come here live every morning and give a word of hope and encouragement to you all. He told me 5 years ago, you will be hope. Be a connector to hope. I wrote it down in my diary. I had no idea in what way I would be hope to anybody. And he gave me that word when I was absolutely, positively hopeless. Hopeless. And then he said, you will be hope. You know, just like Jeremiah or Moses, when God assigned them to do something, in their own power they said, but God, I cannot speak. I stutter. I don't have the words. I'm scared. I am fearful. But God doesn't really see us for who we are. Well, he doesn't see us the way we see ourselves. He sees us the way he made us, with the DNA that he created us with. And he just tells you to do it, because he already knows that what he's asked you to do is within you. It's already in you. It's already in you. So I didn't know that this was in me. Every day I probably doubt that it's in me. Every day I fight the fear, or the wondering, what the heck am I gonna say? Is this gonna bless anyone? Is this going to be meaningful to anyone? But he just says, just show up. Even if you say ABC, someone heard your voice, and someone hears that voice signature and connects to your voice and your smile, your eyes, whatever, it gives them hope for the day. Yo, I got to go out here, y'all. Let me try. Man, it's raining, but I don't care. I'm just going to close my eyes, and probably by the time I come back from running, I'm gonna have I'm gonna have teardrops, not teardrops, what are they called? Raindrops all on my glasses. I'm gonna hope that I don't fall down and slide over on the roadway, but I can't do the treadmill, y'all. I don't like the treadmill. So have an amazing Mindset Monday. God bless you all. Pray for me, y'all, in this rain. I'll make it. All right, bye.